Hello students, welcome back to the online classes of physics. This is your Naima Miss. Uh, so let us continue with the next topic, that is electricity. In our previous class we have learned about the electricity, right? We have learned about few examples of electricity. So let us go with the next topic, that is cell. So I hope everyone knows what is cell, right? So this is the cell. Okay, this is the small cell. Okay, and here you can see, here this is the, I hope it is visible. Here this is the positive end, and the terminal, this is the negative terminal. Positive terminal, negative terminal. I hope it is visible. At home also you can see on in your batteries. So what we are going to do, we are going to learn about the, this is called as dry cell. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to learn about inside the dry cell what are present. Okay, what are present inside the what is the material which is present inside this dry cell. So this is the positive end, whatever you have this now, this metal cap, this is your positive end, and this, the plain side, will be your negative end. So this is the difference you can say between the positive and negative. Okay, so now we are going to learn about the inside parts of the cell. Okay, so first we'll see that. So here you can see how we will denote this cell. We will denote the cell as, in the circuit we will denote it as plus, minus, small line is minus, and big line will be plus. Okay, remember, always remember, the positive terminal will be a little big line, that is positive. A small line compared to this will be the negative end. Okay, negative terminal. So let us learn quickly about the structure of the cell. Okay, so here I have drawn the structure of the cell. So you can see that this is the metal cap. Okay, that is the positive end, as I have shown just now in the this battery. Okay, so in this, if you open it, you will see that it is a dry cell. Okay, it is dry cell because there is no liquid in it. Okay, it is dry, so there is no liquid in this. So here you can see that this middle one, this structure is a, this rod is made up of carbon. So it is made up of carbon. Okay, and after that you can see this is carbon powder. Okay, carbon powder, and next to it, this is all a paste of ammonium chloride. What does it contains? It is a paste of ammonium chloride. It is all sealed in the zinc container. So the outer cover is again made on the zinc container. Okay, then this is the seal. Okay, so it's very clear. Let us go quickly with it. A dry cell consists of a container made up of zinc metal. Okay, it is made up of a zinc metal, isn't it? It is made up of a zinc metal. Then the container also serves as the negative terminal in the center. A carbon uh, graphite, that is carbon rod, here carbon rod with a metal cap serves as a positive terminal. So this carbon rod is having a metal cap, and this serves as a positive terminal. So this positive terminal is metal cap. Okay, the carbon rod is surrounded by a mixture of carbon particles and a chemical called as ammonium chloride paste. The cell is sealed from the top. So from the top the cell is sealed. The dry cell can supply electric current in a circuit for a certain time. After that, its chemicals get exhausted and it cannot be used anymore. That is, you already know na, that when we use a battery, when we use a cell we use in these this one um watches and all, you see that after few months or after a year, the battery gets exhausted and we need to get the another battery. We need to remove this and get the another battery. Yes, dry cell converts chemical energy into, because why it is saying that whatever chemical is present inside this is converted into electrical energy. So what does the dry cell do? The dry cell converts the chemical energy into converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Is it clear, children? Okay, what does the dry cell do? The dry cell converts chemical energy into electrical energy. As we have come to know about the symbols of electricity, we have already learned in our previous class. Let us learn how these symbols can be used, or how these cells are connected with each other, and how the current is passing. Okay, then to know this, we actually need to connect these all bulb, wire, and batteries, everything into a perfect model. Okay, let us learn what is that model. Okay, so that model is called as circuit. What it is called? It is called as circuit. It is circuit. What it is called? It is circuit. So here symbols play an important role in our life. They convey precise meaning with a few descriptions. Some common electric components can be represented by certain symbols, as we have already learned in our previous class. We have learned about the cell, we have learned about the bulb, we have learned about the switch on and switch off, bulb on and bulb off. We have learned about the batteries, and we have learned about the fuse. So in the previous class we have learned all about this, right? So let us now use all this and make a circuit. A bulb, battery, and switch are connected. How they are connected? See, what we are going to do, we are going to first take a battery. Okay, we are going to first take a battery. This is your positive end and this is your negative end. Or simply, if you draw with pictures, okay, if you draw with pictures, how you are going to use it? Suppose you are taking a battery. This is your battery. Okay, this is your positive end, this is your negative end. Okay, now what you're doing, you're taking a wire and you're connecting it to a bulb. Okay, you're connecting it to a bulb. Connecting it to a bulb. Now what you are doing with the negative terminal, you are taking this and connecting it to a switch. Okay, what you're doing, you're connecting it to a switch, and from here you're connecting the wire to the bulb. Okay, so now see, all what you're doing is you're just switching on and the bulb is glowing. Okay, when you're switching on, the bulb is glowing. When you are switching off, the bulb is stop to glow. Yes, the bulb stops to glow. Why all these things are happening? Can you imagine once? These all things are happening due to the flow of electrons. Due to the flow of electrons. Now, what are electrons? We have not learned electrons, right? So let us learn first. To understand the whole circuit, you need to first understand what are electrons. So what are electrons? Now in whole world, whatever exists is due to the something, some things are there. Whatever thing that occupies space is called as matter. What it is called? It is called as matter. Now the matter is made up of small atoms. Okay, atoms. Now these atoms are again made up of small, very 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 small, very very small, sorry, these matters are made up of molecules. Okay, matters are made up of molecules, and these molecules are made up of atoms. These atoms consist of proton, neutrons, and electrons. Okay, proton, neutrons, and electrons. Proton, neutrons, and electrons. Electrons. Okay, now for example, we will take water. Okay, we will take water molecule. Okay, water molecule, a single water molecule is made up of H2O. Now you can see this one molecule of water is made up of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Okay, two hydrogen atoms are getting attached, that is bond up to the one oxygen atom. then only they are forming one molecule of water. Then we have abundant of water, right? So this water is made up of a lot and number of so many water molecules. Okay, so many water molecules and number of water molecules are present. Okay, then only it forms the water. Now this single molecule of water, isn't it? So now this molecule is consisting of atoms. Okay, these are atoms: hydrogen atom, two hydrogen atoms, and one oxygen atom. Now this atom, if you see, it consists of, this is one, this is the, we are drawing the structure of atom. Okay, now okay, this is the structure of atom. So here you can see that this is a nucleus. What is this? It's a nucleus. It's a nucleus. Okay, and this consists of positive charge. This consists of positive charge, that is, this positive charge comprises of protons and neutrons. Okay, this consists of protons and neutrons. Okay, now whatever this you are seeing around, which do not exist in a fixed position, that is, they will be rotating all the time. These are nothing but, these are electrons. Okay, these are electrons. They will be rotating in a fixed orbit around the nucleus. So nucleus comprises of protons and neutrons, and the electrons revolve around it. Okay, like a solar system, isn't it? So I hope you have understood what are electrons now. So these electrons are given as this. Okay, they are symbolized with E minus. Okay, I hope now you have understood what are electrons. Yes, so let us continue the topic. So as we were saying, the protons, the electrons are responsible for the flow of current. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are just connecting this switch, battery and bulb with the copper wires. Okay, now what happens when you switch on, the electrons start moving and reaches the bulb. Okay, when you switch off the button, then immediately the electron stops moving. So the movement, the flow of electrons are responsible for the current. Okay, the flow of electrons are responsible for the current. So see, for example, if I take suppose there is a bridge. Okay, suppose there is a bridge. Now this is a bridge. Okay, there is a bridge. Okay, this is a bridge, and you see a cycle or bicycle or a bike is moving. Okay, bicycle or a bike is moving. Now it can be able to move only when the path is continuous, isn't it? Only when the path is continuous. Suppose the bridge is broken here somewhere, will the person be able to move to the other end of the bridge? No, isn't it? Similarly, here when the electrons are moved, switch is on, the electrons are moving. So these electrons are, this is acting like a path of an light current. Okay, so when the switch is off, that means is there, when the passage is blocked, then the electrons stop moving. Okay, so the electrons, always remember, the electrons move from the positive end to negative end. Okay, the flow of electricity current takes place from the positive end to terminal to the negative terminal. Okay, now here we can see that the diagram is like this, isn't it? So always, you know, all are not perfect in drawing, right? Everyone cannot draw like you, isn't it? So what happens? What did they do? They have they have discovered the symbols. Okay, what we have learned in our previous class. So what does they do? They will just implement these symbols and construct a circuit for our proper understanding, isn't it? So let us now continue with the circuit diagram. Okay, so what as it happens, there is a circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram. So what we are doing, we are just converting these whatever we are using, that is the battery, bulb and all, we are just converting it into a diagram. Okay, so what we are doing, we are just converting this cell, okay, this one into what we have done in what we have learned from our symbols. What is the symbol of cell? Nothing but positive terminal, negative terminal, and this is the cell, isn't it? Now what we are doing, we are just joining this cell to a bulb. We are just joining it to a bulb. Bulb symbol, you remember? This is the symbol of the bulb, isn't it? This is the symbol of the bulb. Now what we are doing, we are just attaching these to a switch. Okay, switch can be drawn anywhere in the diagram. So this is attached to a switch. Now you say whether the switch is on or off. You can see that the switch is off, isn't it? The switch is off. You can see the symbol of the switch off here, isn't it? So the switch is off. So now when you on the switch, what you will do, when you just on the switch, that is when you just on the switch, what will happen? When you just on the switch, when you just on the switch, the bulb starts glowing. Bulb starts glowing. That is, the flow of electrons from positive terminal to the negative terminal starts. Okay, when the switch is off, the flow of electrons does not takes place. The electrons stop there only, they do not move. Okay, so now we have learned about the circuit diagram. I hope you all have understood this regarding the circuit diagram. It is very clear, children. It is not at all hard. Just you have to remember the symbols and how to correct it. Just we have to be perfect with the symbols. Okay, see when the bulb is off, it is not glowing. When the bulb is on, it is glowing. When the where have we connected, how we have connected a cell, always the positive electron line will be big and the negative negative terminal will be small. When the switch is off, it will be like this, open, and when the switch is on, it will be closed. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram. So next we will learn about the series connection and the parallel connection. When the circuit is connected in series, and when it is connected in parallelly, how is the connection done, we will learn about it. So the connection of the circuits or the bulbs can be, or the cells can be in two types. That is, connection can be done in two types. Connection of the cells can be done in two types. That is, first is series and second one is parallel. Okay, series means, children, in one straight line, and parallel means one against the another. Yes, it can be connected either in one straight line or by parallelly. Okay, so now we will learn about the series connection. In a series circuit, electricity has only one path to flow through. All the electrical components are connected in this path. If only one of them is removed or is not functioning properly, the circuit will be incomplete. That means, if see, in series means all the electricity, the current which is passing, will flow only in one direction, Suppose if you know any one of them is removed. Suppose we are removing any one of the cell, that means the circuit is incomplete and the current does not flow. Okay, and whereas in parallel, he has more than one paths for the flow of electricity. Each bulb in the circuit is connected in a separate path through which electricity can flow. That means in parallel they are connected in more than one paths. If one path is not working, if one path is not working, suppose they are connected like this, Okay, so this is the path. They are connected like this. Suppose they are connected like this and the current is passing. The current can flow if this path is not passing the current, doesn't matter, it will flow through this. Okay, but whereas in series only one is there, so current will flow only through the one of the path. Yes, here if one of the path is being removed, or it has been damaged or whatever it is, but still the current will be flowing. Okay, for example, if you see a torch, what is happening in this torch? You have the batteries here, right? Connected 1 2 3 batteries you have, isn't it? That is one of what we are doing here. In this battery, if we are removing one of the cell, okay, we are removing one of the cell, one of the cell is removed, then what will happen? Will the torch works? No, the torch will not work. That means the torch is the best example of the series connection. Okay, it is the best example of series connection of the cells, isn't it? It is the best example of series connection of the. So what is happening in series connection? The current is flowing in one single path. It is true. But what is actually happening? So what we will do, we will just take a dry cell and a torch bulb. Now what we'll do, we'll connect it to using the copper wires. Then we will see the intensity of light. Simply we will take one battery, okay, and to this battery we will just connect the copper. With the help of the copper wires, we will connect the bulb. Okay, we will connect the bulb. We will connect the bulb. So now you can see that when you are allowing the current to pass through it, what is happening? The bulb is glowing. Okay, bulb is glowing. Then again you take one more battery, and to this positive end and negative end, right? Now to this negative end attach positive end. Okay, and now you allow the current to pass through this, that is allow the current to pass through this, and you see whether the bulb is glowing in which intensity. The bulb is glowing at what intensity. You can observe that the comparing to this light, this will be a much more brighter. The intensity of light increases here. Okay, the intensity of light increases. That means comparing to the first circuit, if you see to the second circuit, you will see that the intensity of this light will be more. The light coming out of the bulb will be more speed, more high, and that similarly if you connect with 3 batteries, then also you will see that the intensity increases. But we cannot increase the batteries like this, again it will cause damage to the bulb, right? So what we will do, we will just see the how connecting this bulb in series. What will happen if we connect the bulb in series? Okay, simply we will take 3 or 2 or more than 2 bulbs. When we see these bulbs, we have connected the 1 2 3 bulbs in series. Okay, one by one. For example, we'll take torch only. See, we have connected this in series. Okay, now what is going to happen? We are connecting the cell to it. Okay, we are connecting the cell to it. Now if you see, the bulb will, when it is getting current, easily you can see that the bulb is lighting up very very brightly. Okay, it is getting brighten up very brightly, glowing very brightly. But when you are removing one bulb, okay, but when you are removing one bulb, what you can see, the current is not passing to the second one, because the first one is only stopping the current and the third one cannot work. If you are connecting the bulb, then only the current can flow, then only the flow of current will take place, isn't it? The flow of current will takes place. So here we will see that when we have connected the cells in a series, bulbs in a series, what is going to happen? In series connection of bulb is, if one bulb gets fused, suppose if one bulb gets fused, all the other bulbs in the series will stop glowing. It means that one bulb is disconnected, the other bulbs do not glow. This is also observed in serial bulbs used in decorative items. at the time of marriage and all festivals. If you see in our marriage, we will in our marriages or any festivals, we'll see that we will put the lights to our houses, right? That is a symbol of enlightened, that is a symbol of happiness, right? So that what will happen in that lights, you observe once, if one of the bulb gets fused, it's not working, then that whole line will not be working. Okay, I hope it is clear till here, like connection, series connection. In our next class we'll start from the parallel connection. Until then, take care. I hope you will just revise the video if you are unable to understand, and then till then, take care.